Good afternoon, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and I have some very exciting news to everyone who's been a long-time Yu-Gi-Oh fan. Dual Terminal is getting another reprint set. This reprint set is Terminal World. This is a new set coming out in the OCG. I don't know if we're getting it, but we got the last Dual Terminal reprint sets, and this looks pretty interesting. It's coming out in November for the OCG. And it looks like we have two guaranteed archetypes in this set in the form of Infernoid and Ice Barrier. There's 4 confirmed archetypes going to be in this set. We only have 2 so far. We don't know the other 2. And this is huge potential for updates to some of our most favorite decks of all time. If you don't know, the dual terminal lore is stretching very far, and a lot of archetypes are connected to it. From Shaddoll to Yang Zing to Naturia to the Worms to Gusto to the X-Savers. You name an archetype, most likely there's some connection to the dual terminal lore. There's about 20 to 30 of them, and they're all needing some love and support. Now, some are way better than the others, of course. Like I said, Shaddoll is still prevalent in her format even to this day. I think Shaddoll Invoked is still a very viable tier 2 deck, but let's be honest here. When was the last time Dirac and Worms and Allied Justice and Gusto have ever been meta, if at all? I feel like this is a huge potential for these archetypes to get either retrains or updates to actually become playable archetypes. And if Konami does it correctly, this is some huge news. I'm already excited to see Infernoids being on this list. If you don't know, Infernoids is one of my favorite top 10 decks of all time. And I'd be really excited to see if Infernoid gets some love in not only reprints, but in support. What I'm hoping is that if this is not just a reprint set, maybe these archetypes are also going to get some love in support cards. I don't think I would have chose Ice Barrier as a deck to get support because Ice Barrier just got a structured deck about a year or 2 ago. But I do think a lot of these dual terminal archetypes do need some love and haven't been touched in years. Worms and Allied Justice are just completely unplayable decks. I would love to see revamped versions of these decks to see if they're able to compete in the meta day. And other archetypes like Gustos. I know we got a couple of modern day cards a couple of years ago. I think like 4 or 5 years ago now. But I would love to see some more Gusto support. Gishki just got its wave, so we don't have to worry about them. Same thing with Gem Knights. They just got their wave. Shaddoll got their structure deck. Not to mention Shaddoll is still prevalent. And even this format, Yang Zing could get some new cards. Especially since Danlong just got off the list. I wouldn't be surprised if you do see Yang Zing get some new support. I feel like out of all the dual terminal decks, it's actually one of the better ones. Other archetypes to include when it comes to like that may or may not get support, I would definitely say Cleafords are in a long due for some support. This archetype only got 1 Link monster back when Links were first revealed, and that is it. And the Clees is needing a lot of love. Their boss monster towers is outdated, and they just basically need some new modern cards to update their towers. Maybe a new Cleafort towers would be great. I don't know. They just need some love. Other archetypes, X-Sabers would love to get some love. They're a really cool archetype that honestly hasn't seen any play in years. Dirac is a really cool dinosaur deck where every other dinosaur deck has gotten support from pure dinosaur structure deck to the Transcendent Drakes to what's it called? Every dinosaur deck you can think of, they've gotten support. Evil Czars have gotten support. Dirac needs some support now, and they're a fire pyro dragon dinosaur archetype too. So I would love to see Dirac get some support. And if Konami keeps with their whole fire thing, what's it called? We have both fire archetypes in the form of not only just the Infernoid, which I mentioned earlier, but also the Fire Lake deck, which is the Lavals and the Flame Veils. They also need some love. And yeah, there's just a lot of archetypes that are just crippling bad. I would love if Konami went back to them and gave them some love, especially since they're such an iconic part of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. I would love if Konami updated every dual terminal archetype and just gave them like 2 or 3 cards that bring them closer to the modern day, if not give them whole new retrains. Like, for example, I think Allied Justice and Worms need like 20 to 30 new cards in order to be relevant, but who knows? Maybe the 7 new cards is all they need, but they definitely need a lot of new cards. But you all tell me in the comments what 2 archetypes you want to go with the Ice Barriers and Infernoids. I think Infernoid, I'm super excited. It's getting reprints. It's an archetype that needed it. Not to mention, it has huge potential in the metagame. It's a very graveyard heavy deck. All the monsters are like DD Crows, and you think it would have been good against Tier Elements, except Tier Elements are just too fast for the deck. And I would love if they got some new support to compete with decks like Tier Elements and Lightstorm and just be viable again. Like Labyrinth, let's call it Layer Darkness Infernoid was the last time a deck has ever been good. And that deck was only good for a couple of months when Sky Striker first came out. So please, 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 Konami, give us some new love, give us some new support, and that's really about it. Oh, and don't forget Dragoonity. Dragoonity just got a whole bunch of new support, but I just feel like it'd be a sin not to include them on the dual terminal support wave, even though they got a lot of support lately. I think like 2 years ago, they just got like a whole bunch of cards, and like, yes, that's a lot, but it's one of my favorite dragon types, dragon decks of all time, so I'm never against getting Wind Dragons support. But that's really all I gotta say about that. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't do anything stupid. See you all next one. Bye-bye.